Hey guys, Andrea here. So this week's question was, which video game has made you cry? Spoilers welcome. So in that vein, there's been two instances, one where I actually cried and one where I got really close to crying. So the first one was the ending of Halo Reach, and I didn't full-on cry in that, but I got really teary-eyed about Noble Six's fate, and it's a really tough ending. If you guys played, there's no winning. Like, you ultimately will die no matter what you do. It's just about like how long you can survive the waves of enemies, but ultimately you'll succumb to death. And it was really tough in the moment, because I think we all hold out hope for a happy ending, and it just didn't happen. But the one game that did make me cry at the end was The Walking Dead Season 1. The ending between Lee and Clementine was an emotional moment that very few video games are ever able to create. And if you've never actually played that game, I highly recommend going in and taking the time to do so, because of all of Telltale's games, this stands out as the best, the pinnacle of what they've achieved so far. And so those are the two experiences that I had with crying in video games, because I don't really like to cry, so I'm glad that there's only been two.
So the first video game that ever made me cry was Final Fantasy VI, and it was right at the end when Shadow and Interceptor were on the island and everything was crumbling, and Shadow kind of decides that maybe he's not going to run, and we all know what that kind of insinuates, and I just lost my mind. Just lost it.
The only game that has ever made me like sob cry, like heave cry, like full on ugly tears, mascara streaming down your face contorted like this crying, was Final Fantasy 15. Now I finished Final Fantasy 15 maybe 6 to 8 months ago, and this is gonna get into some spoilers, so if you have not finished the game or you don't want to know what happens, now's your time to click away, friends. So the end of Final Fantasy 15, we witness Noctis in his sacrifice, aka he is dead, he is now worm fodder, and he reunites with Luna. And it was so hard. Well, not only that, not only does Noctis die, you don't really know for sure whether or not the rest of the Chocobros survive that final attack or what happens to them, and that's just even more emotions to toy with you and your sanity. It's hard though, because you go this entire game and there's so many light-hearted moments during it, and you really bond with these characters and you appreciate the relationships they've formed and the things they've gone through and the things they've done. And as the story kind of unravels and you learn that this has always been Noctis's fate, it's just, oh god, it just like knife in the heart, and it turns and it just sucks. I was, as the story was coming to an end and I was watching that, I was literally like like heaving, and just, I couldn't control myself, I couldn't stop crying. It was just me alone sobbing in a dark room. It was one of my finer moments of life, but that was definitely the most emotional I've ever gotten during a video game, and it was really beautiful and well done. But yeah, just, yeah.
Hi again, friends. So I'm supposed to tell you about the time a video game made me cry. And for this, I'm gonna go with like actual tears running down my face, which does not happen very often for me. In movies or in books. There's definitely some books that have gotten me and some movies that have gotten me. But I haven't cried on many games. I've had the thing where like the tears are welling up behind my eyes, and I know that I could cry if I let myself cry, but I don't usually. So the one time where I actually just sat there and ugly cried was in Mass Effect 2. So for those of you who don't know, in Mass Effect 1 you can romance a lovely boy named Kaidan, and I did. And you have a beautiful little romance, and it's beautiful and wonderful and amazing, and then in Mass Effect 2 everything goes to shit. You die, you are rebuilt, and then you don't get to see your beautiful boy toy for quite some time, I might add. I was playing the whole game looking for him, waiting for the day that I would get to see my ex-boyfriend, and then you do see him. He comes in, he's got hot new armor, he's got a brand new face thanks to a new engine, and he's really mean to you. Really mean to you. And it just cut me to the core, and I started to cry because all I had wanted was like a really cute reunion between the two of them, and I did not get that whatsoever. So I was kind of heartbroken over it, I was very heartbroken. I had just spent, I think at that point, like 30 hours looking for him, trying to get there, and then you get there and it's not at all what you expected. So he tore my heart in half.